and welcome to an Emo Girl's Guide to the Galaxy, where we debate, rant, and curse too much. If you like books, sarcasm, and hate the patriarchy, then you've come to the right place.
This week, we are talking about romance books and how the patriarchy is trying to take them away from us, and how, we just want to be able to read smutty romance books wherever we want without judgment. And that's what this
I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face with this one, but I'm so excited.
Don't let the patriarchy kill our sexy.
Don't let the patriarchy bring you down. Okay, it's Devin, and I'm going to take you through our weekly book updates. So I will be starting off with The War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That comes out March 15th if you ordered the paperback or if you're getting the ebook. If you pre-ordered the hardcover, you need to wait until June because of some processing issues, I believe. But they are offering a new incentive if you did pre-order it as like a gift for waiting a few extra months. So if you are interested in that, head over to her Instagram page. I think she has a link in her bio or her website, and you can sign up for all of that good stuff. Also on March 15th, In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer is coming out. It is a rom-com for fans of Christina Lauren. Also on March 15th, Women of Walt Disney Imagineering, 12 women reflect on their trailblazing theme park careers. And as a Disney girl, I am very interested in this one. So I will come back with thoughts, hopefully. On March 22nd, City of Dusk by Tara Sim comes out. This is the Dark God series #1, which sounds super interesting to me just by the name. So I'm in.
I love her, so I'm super stoked.
Yeah, I'm in too. And then book related, but not publishing date, but Bridgerton season 2 is airing on March 25th. So I'm excited.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I still have not seen season 1, so I am going to go back and reread the first book and reread the second book and then come back with notes. So I will keep you guys posted.
Yeah, I'm super interested to hear what Dev has to say about season 1 because you're so into the books.
I'm excited.
Did you read the first book?
I've read all the books, yeah, because I went into it and I was like, I don't want to watch this yet. I want to read the books first. And then I ended up loving them too much and binged all 8 books. And I was like, okay, I'm invested.
You pulled a Deb and you binged all of them.
Yeah. And of course, like, as you know, I am invested in fake people's lives. And so I'm like, this is an entire series of siblings and their love lives. Like, okay, yes, like, sign me up for more. And so I read them all. And now I have to watch this.
I hate to tell you this, but Stephanie Lawrence has a whole Cynster series, and it's like 25, 26 books, and it's not even like it went through the whole siblings and then all of their close friends, and then now it's their children.
Yeah, I'm in.
Going through the Years of Regency series, so I will see if I can loan you some of those if you want, like a really chaotic Regency book binge, because I love them.
Yeah, I'm into that. I also read, what's the name? I have another series, rom-com series with like siblings too, but I can't remember.
Oh, you were telling me about.
I don't remember what
you got it for free on Amazon, right? And
then... the first book is called Butterface, and then it follows like.
Oh yeah, I read those.
What's their last name? I don't remember what the series is called.
Know.
I have to look it up. I'll get back to you on that one. But anyway, those are our book world updates for today.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm Erin. Let's do some team updates around the room. I am going to Mexico soon, so that's my update. I'm super excited. I'm going to be in a wedding as a bridesmaid. I have never been a bridesmaid before. I've had it like swiped out from under me twice now because I was asked by close friends and a family member to be a bridesmaid before, and then they both got eloped. Got eloped or they eloped? I don't think they got eloped. They both eloped, so I didn't get to be a bridesmaid, and so I'm very excited that I'm going to get to do that and have a child-free vacay with my husband in Mexico. I'm like fully excited, and I will be reading probably The War of Two Queens while I'm there, so it's going to be awesome. And I also just got tickets to see Bad Flower in April. I am so excited.
I have my Bad Flower beanie on in the last episode. I should have like had it on in this
No
episode.
timing for that. But yeah, it just helped me get obsessed, and so I am very, very excited. So
The obsession.
those are my updates.
I'm so excited for you.
What's going on with
Snaps.
everyone else?
I'm still living a chaotic life, moving, and I've been terrible at reading, but I did start Crescent City.
Okay. Yay. Join us.
Yeah, I started it forever ago, like when it first came out, and then there's that info dump in the beginning, and I
beginning is
wasn't
not
feeling
fun.
it, and I was like, I need to put this down, and then I never picked it up again, so I picked it up. You guys have been talking about the second one, and I feel the FOMO,
Yeah,
so
join us. So we can
I'm
all
going for it.
rage about all of them together.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I am addicted to this Guitar Hero app on my phone, thanks to Loretta, because she
sorry.
was like, I'm playing BeatStar, it's Guitar Hero on my phone.
I have
So now
such a
I'm, like,
problem. It's concerning me.
now I'm just like sitting here counting down the time and I set my notifications so that when I get a new box and I can play a new song, and like my phone goes off and I'm like, hold on, I gotta get my new song real
I
quick.
plan it because there's a 5-hour box where you have to wait 5 hours to open
it's
it.
gotta
So
be
I'm
at
like,
night.
I have to set that one before I go to sleep, and then it'll be open when I wake up. And so I
I've been
set my
doing-
life around it, and it's really bad.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm doing the same, so I just don't even. You've done this to me.
sorry.
So I also got a copy of Book of Night by Holly Black, the arc I got it off of Idlewice, so it's not like some big fancy thing, but I'm going to see if I can read that. She's got this new adult fantasy, and I'm into it. I love Holly Black. Tithe is the reason that I got into fantasy in the first place, so like I'm pretty stoked about reading that. And then I'm also about to finish, I'm like 20 pages from the end of The Magnolia Palace by Fiona Davis, and it's a historical mystery type thing, but it's taking place in 2 different time periods. So it's in this mansion in New York, and it's in 1919, where her mom just died of the Spanish flu, which like big crazy vibes, and they're talking about all of these people having to be hauled out and how they're disposing of the
God.
bodies and stuff from like the massive pandemic. So, timely. And then the other half of it is set in 1966, and it's like a model who's in the same house that this girl goes to work in 1919. And so it's back and forth in the time periods, and you're trying to figure out who died and who was the murderer and what really happened with all of this stuff. And so like now I'm at the place where the time periods are like converging into the big reveal. So it's actually really good, and it's like a nice break and breath from finishing Morningstar and then House of Sky and Breath and like all of the big fantasies that I've had this year.
Yeah,
So
it sounds really good. I'm interested in it.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
it's fun. It's my book of the month club, or it was my book of the month club choice, and I don't know why I still do this, but I still do book of the month club. So I get a lot of fun books like that I otherwise probably wouldn't pick up from
Yep.
there. So yeah.
And then on the opposite side of things, I got a package from Disney, and I got the email, and I was like, what am I getting from Disney? Like, what? I didn't buy anything. And it turned out to be an arc of a novel called The Undead Truth of Us, which is by Brittany S. Lewis, and I think it's out this August. And it has zombies, and it has BIPOC representation. The author is also of color. Like, I'm super excited for it. And I will keep everybody posted on this magical zombie love story. That sounds really
so here
good.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zombie love story. I mean, I need to know what happens. Just
It definitely sounded
Yeah, it
interesting.
did.
I would.
this is not the first zombie love story. I feel like I've heard of another one. Didn't they make like a one into a movie from a different
Yeah, it was,
There's iZombie, right, on CW?
which is actually a really good
Yeah.
show. I didn't finish it,
I loved that
but it
show.
was good.
I think I watched a few episodes and I was like way more into it than I
Yeah.
expected to be, but I didn't.
Yeah,
finish it.
I got into it because I was way into Veronica Mars, and I think the same guy does iZombie that did Veronica Mars, and I was like, I have to watch it, and of course I loved it.
Yeah, I could see that because she eats like pieces of brain, and then based off of who she eats, she can see memories.
Their memories.
She like knows things, and so she helps solve like murders and mystery cases based off of like the stuff that she knows.
How does she get the brains?
She get the brains.
How did she get the brains?
Because she works, so she used to be a doctor, and then when she turns into like this weird being, she goes and works for the morgue. Yes, the morgue that is connected to like the police station, right? So like whenever something happens, the cops bring the dead bodies into the morgue, and so that's how
she just eats their brains.
Yeah.
You know,
and then she solves some crime that way.
If I were to die and be in the morgue, like, you can feed my brains to whoever. If they're gonna, like, go help solve murders, like, for sure, just go eat them. I don't care. I want to be made into a diamond and put on somebody's ring.
I feel like this is the equivalent of being an organ donor. Like, I want people to benefit from my organs after I die because I don't need them. And if you need to eat my brain, you know, that's fine too.
I support that, actually. Yeah, let's save some zombie lives with our dead brains.
But Jess, I do know what movie you're talking about with Nicholas Hoult, but I don't know what it's called.
I love that movie. Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies. Yes. Zombie love story.
That one's so funny. Okay, I don't know why zombie love stories like throw me off so much because like how is it like much weirder than the other stuff that we read? Like, you know, shifters and vampires and I don't know, all the things.
I just zombies are eating people. They're like hot shifters are probably not going to eat
So if you're looking for a good zombie movie, Train to Busan, and if you're looking for a good zombie show, I'm watching All of Us Are Dead on Netflix. They're both Korean, but they're really good. Train to Busan is like one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. It's really good. And All of Us Are Dead takes place in a high school, and all of the high school students start turning into zombies. It's like a huge, mega, like, Korean high school, and they're all locked into the buildings, and they start turning into zombies. It's so good. I say watch it. There's like 12 episodes right now.
What was that recent Netflix, it was on Netflix, movie that was like the Vegas zombie movie that happened?
I did see that. I don't remember, but I know.
I watched it because the soundtrack was amazing, and I'm sitting there listening to the soundtrack, and it's like the old Vegas songs, but done in like a metal type way, and then like in old rock versions, and so like the music was amazing, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch this because the music's so good. And I did not really like love the movie itself, but and then I was mad because on Apple, if you go to the soundtrack, none of those songs are on there. So
it's called
Rude.
It's called Army of the Dead because I needed to know, so I googled Army of the Dead.
It was halfway decent, I guess.
All right, let's pivot from zombies to smut. I feel like we can do that, right?
Yeah. What a transition. Yes. Today we're talking about romance books and like the weirdest places we've read them. For me, it's listening because I listen to a lot of romance books.
That would burn my ears right
weirdest
off.
Places you like favorite romance authors, all the things. I feel like maybe we should start off with why we named the episode what we did.
Sexacombs. Take it away.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, so I was reading this series by Penelope Douglas called the Devil's Night series. The first book is called Corrupt. And I think I read the first at least 3 by myself. And then I was like, you guys, has any of you read these books? And you're like, no. And I'm like, well, please join me. And then sure enough,
I give you so much credit for lasting 3 books without anyone to talk to.
Read them
because now that I've read them,
and I read them when I was still book blogging, so I remember like doing a review on at least the first 2. And the first one, the whole time I was just like, this book is like insane. I don't even know how to do a review because like all the trigger warnings,
it's so weird.
Like it's just like batshit.
So many.
It's like
it's some bully romance to the next level.
I almost didn't finish
called like
it.
a dark. I think it's also like dark romantic thriller because there's a thriller aspect to it as well. And it's like two POVs, and then it's like alternating timelines. So like back when they were in high school, or the main girl was in high school, and then like years later. And I mean, I can't like honestly, I don't want to tell anyone if you're gonna read it. Like you have to go in like really quite blind, I feel like, but just be comfortable knowing that there's going to be like a lot of uncomfortable stuff. Like if you have a lot of like trigger warnings that you need, go look up the trigger warnings so that you know what you're walking into. But like it's fully insane. But there are these like catacombs throughout the series that the the different characters end up in, and I don't know what happened. We were calling them Sexacombs because people are like down there having sex.
Well, because they were having an orgy in them, In high school, they were having a high school orgy and drinking in the catacombs.
Well, I think there were college kids down there too.
Were they in college then?
Yeah, so the guys are in college the whole time, and she's in high school, and then later they're all out of college and high school, I think, or she's maybe in college.
But like the orgy was happening when she is in high school, but she was not.
Yeah, and he's like, "Do you have the guts to go down here?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do, because you challenged me."
He blindfolds her.
But they come back up throughout the series, like the catacombs. So they are the Sexacombs.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very smutty series.
So we labeled them Sexacombs because they're catacombs with orgies.
I would like to put it on record that I'm the only one who hasn't read these yet, and so I'm going in blind.
You haven't?
I have not.
I cannot believe you haven't read them.
Why did I think you read these?
I haven't read them yet.
I don't think that. No, I knew you didn't because I was like, I'm not even gonna tell her she should.
I will do it. I will do it to be like a part of the community, so I know what's going on. But
it would be a hate read for you.
Okay, I had a hard time reading the first one because I'm not a bully romance person, and I have a hard time with that. So I was like, I don't know about this, and it's very bully romancy in the beginning. But then I made it, and I kept going, and there's they get so much better.
It's definitely like one of the darker series I've ever read, and when I was reading it the whole time, I was just like, I can't believe I like this. Like, this is so messed up. But then I was like, I need to read the rest of the series. I'm fully obsessed.
Yeah.
I did not like the first book.
It's my least favorite.
I didn't like her. I really wanted to like vibe with her, and I just didn't like her. I was like, I understand why they're bullying you a little bit because like I don't know. She just wasn't my vibe, which is fine.
I didn't like her, and I don't like Michael, and it's about them.
Yeah, I don't like him either. So I was there for the extra characters, but like the arcs that go through the 4 or 5 books is really fun.
I love book 2 and 3 a lot.
If we're talking about bully romances, I read Den of Vipers.
You did.
I made it through the whole thing.
You're the only one.
I did this for all of us.
Just to basically tell us not to read it.
I mean, you can read it, but if Devil's Night was bothering you, then don't read Den of Vipers. There's just...
Well, I think long story short is that...
That's why we're called Sexacombs.
Yes, thank you Devil's Night and Penelope Douglas for giving us what we now call the Sexacombs. And so now we're getting into more smutty and romance conversations and why we should read what we want and who cares what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's so many, I feel like mostly men, but people that are so judgy about it. Like, oh, you just read porn, or like that it's not sophisticated reading material. It's just such crap, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I will kick things off on my opinion by saying that I saw a video, it was a video of, I sent it to everybody, right? And it was so eloquently stated, like the reason why specifically men and society in general try to talk down on romance is because it's like deeply rooted in the patriarchy of like, of course, nice things happening to women is dumb. Like, we don't want you to think that you can have happy endings because why would we? Like, that doesn't benefit us in any way. Like, we want you to think that that's corny. We want you to think that like it's unrealistic to have a man be nice to you. So, and then I saw that and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to start reading more romance. Like, I'm going to watch more rom-coms. I'm just going to believe in happily ever afters because why not?
Yeah. So much of like the, intellectual type stuff, like bad things are happening to women and there's not always a guaranteed happy ending. And like, I'm not going to feel guilty that that's what I want sometimes. Is actually all the time. It's just to read about love and happiness and happy endings.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, hey, Chad, you're not going to go on the PGA World Tour, but you still go play golf. So
coming in hot.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And then the people who are like, well, it's porn and it's not fair that you can read your porn in public, but I can't watch it on my phone. And I'm like, right, but like, yes, I saw it on TikTok that this guy was like, it's so disgusting that you read porn in public. How could you do that? And I'm like, well, let me tell you about biology. First of all, we're not getting an uncomfortable boner in front of kids. And second of all, nobody can look over my shoulder and see the screen and hear it, you dumbass. Like, obviously, it's not my fault you can't read. and like have an imagination. It's not my fault that like I can keep it in my book and then shut it and keep it away from people and not be super offensive. There's like, it's just so wildly different.
I also find it very strange that men say, like, why do you read that? It's so unrealistic. When women are, like, the main source of romance novels and content. And it's like, why wouldn't men read romance novels to know what women want? Or, you know, like, I don't... It just... I went to...
They just don't even like
I went
us.
to an author... group thing at Mysterious Galaxy with Saba Tahir and Renee Adier, when one of their book, like, they had books coming out, and Saba was talking about how her husband used to read like romance stuff that he used to find in the library, and he was like, yeah, I learned how to like flirt with girls through the books that I would read and I would find in the library.
That's smart.
And I'm like, this
man.
is what, yes, like this is what men should do, like take notes.
Good for Saba, you know?
Yeah. That's a high caliber dude right there.
That is the man you take home for sure.
Yeah.
So if we do have any men listening out there, like, go find a romance book and read it and use the tips and tricks that you hear, that you
Just
read.
not
in the
Devil's
books.
Night. We don't need that.
Don't you? Yeah. Avoid bully romance.
At least the covers of Devil's Night are not like... Somebody's going to look at the covers of that Corrupt or whatever, and they're going to think you're reading a thriller because the covers do not show, like, there's not a bodice ripper happening. So if you want, like, you could look a man dead eyes and, like, right in his eyes and be like, oh, yeah, it's this great thriller about how they go and, you know, try to figure out why her mom's house burned
Go
down.
to the Sexacombs.
I don't know. Like, you can do that, and it's not lying. But also, fuck him. Tell him what it is.
But also, do we know why usually romance covers have, like, half-naked men and, like, women swooning on them most of the time? Because I never understood that. I'm like...
I don't either. I don't need that.
No, we should have looked that up.
Like, it's changed a lot, too, but it used to be that, like, Danielle Steele and those type of romance things, like, back from way before, those were the books, and that was the way that it was done, like, with the old school stuff, and they were all these little, like, paperbacks this big and stuff, and I, like, part of me thinks it was to shame women, but part of me also thinks it was just like they thought that we would want to buy
they marketed based off of like what men would want to see versus what women would want to see.
Right, like it was 100% marketed to say, this is what she's reading, look at this. So if you had a whole bunch of romance novels on your shelf, people would immediately be like, oh, you're just reading sex. Cool. Which I just think sucks in general, but that's just because of the patriarchy and the toxic like world that we have grown up in that says that we're not allowed to like nice things and we're not allowed to like romance.
Well, and also like, I mean, we know this because we read romance and smutty romance for sure, but like there's more going on. Like they're doing other things. It's not just like front, you know, to back, just like sex scenes. Like
there's story.
There's an actual story.
Yeah, it's not like the guy comes to fix the copy maker and they're having sex on the desk in 2 seconds. This is not actual, like,
Pizza
it's
delivery.
not done like a porn movie, but that's the way that men think it is. They're like, oh, it must just be like a movie, and the majority of it is sex. And very
honestly, I feel like we don't like books that like even start to cross over too much into that. Like if we're like, okay, like it's just getting tedious.
The slow burns.
The amount of sex that they're having, like it's less enjoyable. You really have to have that better balance.
Like if there's too much sex in the book, I'm skipping pages because I'm like, yeah, I get it. Can I figure out what happens?
We know.
now?
Yeah,
he's so hot.
Okay, so let's go through a list of some of the ones that we would recommend for people to read if they are like us and want the good plot, but then also need their little spicy scenes. Like T.S. Joyce and her Bear books, like those are super easy reads, but they're so fun and
they're so short. It's great because they're like 150 pages ish, like generally, so they're super fast. And they're hilarious, and I love her so much.
And they also connect, and there's actually like a slow plot building with all of them connecting, and I like them.
They're so short, and they're Damon's Mountains by T.S. Joyce, and they're on Amazon. They're on Kindle Unlimited for everybody. If you just want to binge, like you could go nuts.
That's literally what I did.
I started reading them like forever ago, and I was like, hey guys, if you want to read something, like I was almost embarrassed to recommend it to people because I was like, I don't know if you're into this stuff.
What's the first one's called? Like Werebear Lumberjack or something?
Yeah, it's like Lumberjack Werebear or something. Absolutely
There's
chaotic.
the first series, which are Werebears, and then she has like spin-off series of different shifters and all of their different like romance stories. So the
first series is like okay, like it's cute and it's like it's fun to read, but the second series is hilarious and amazing.
Okay, I need to get further then because I've only read Werebear Lumberjack and I need to.
There's a lot more. And
yeah, the first book is like
the first series is
it's just like it's a good like palate cleanser book that you would want to read or something just to like get your brain fixed, but like. I think there are something like 80 plus of these at this point.
There's a lot.
So many of them. They're really short, and I think they get shorter at certain times. But then all the characters reoccur. There's family trees happening. There's like different stories from kids and all over the country, and it's just like it's really fun.
Yeah,
you just need something nonsensical to get into. I love it.
I bought a Kindle. I can't remember when, but when they gave me 3 months of KU free because I bought a Kindle, and then I just went nuts. And I read all of them within like a month or two. And so I was scrolling through my Goodreads history, and it was like normal books, and then shirtless men for forever.
Yep. I remember they got me to my Goodreads goal. Like I binged so many of them that I was able to like pass my 100 Goodreads goal for that year because there's so many.
Yeah, I they're just like comforting.
Yeah.
I have some recommendations too. So I obviously, if you're looking for like dark, a little bit bully thriller, definitely check out Penelope Douglas. I do like her stuff because I feel like it is well written. Like the content is not for everyone, but I think she pulls off how she writes it well. And then I really love almost anything by Elle Kennedy. I love her off-campus series. It's contemporary and they're in college, so it's like new adult. But it's like hockey romance, so it's like each book is like a different hockey player on this hockey team.
Cool.
And there's like steam, but like it's a plot, and they're just like really good characters. And then I think there's like some spin-off with like some other characters on a different hockey team or something. But honestly, she's like an auto-buy author for me. I love all of her stuff. And then if you need some more paranormal stuff with fangs, my favorite steamy vampire romance series is going to be like the Night Huntress series by Jeanine Frost. Halfway to the Grave is the first one, and then there's like spin-off series and like novellas and that. Like all of that I've binged, and it's so good. Like it's a reread series for me, definitely. At least the first two.
Those have been on my like list
They're
for a long
so
time,
good.
and I want to.
I have to say that we were like planning this episode, and one of the questions is, where's the craziest place that you've read a romance book? And for mine, I wrote down that I was reading the second Night Huntress book, and there's like a crazy sex scene at the end of that book. I love that scene. It's nuts. Those books weren't for me personally, but I think I was like reading them at a weird time. Yeah. I don't know, but I was in my cubicle at work, and I was backed up in the corner, and thank God, because I don't know if I didn't want anyone to see, so I would like look around, like they were going nuts on each other in this book. I won't go into graphic details, but they do some shit.
I mean, it's smutty fang.
No, I really want to read it.
At the end of book 2, they do some shit, and I was in my cubicle at work, and I was like, oh my God.
I think with any series that we recommend, like not all books are for everybody, but I am fully obsessed with that whole world.
I support it.
Night Huntress, I haven't read them, but I might just do one just to see how crazy they are.
I feel like I need to.
They're fun. They're fun paranormal
I could
romance.
be like
it's urban fantasy.
My brain might be dramatizing it, but
I also
it's probably similar to like the Guild Angel ones that we were reading.
Probably.
I started those. I read like 2 or 3. They were good.
Yeah, I haven't read that series yet, but I definitely put them together in my mind.
Yes, I think I read 1 or 2 of the Angels Guild Hunter series by Nalini Singh, which the ones that I did read were really good. It's like angels, but in the city, and they kind of like rule over all of the different places on Earth, and then It's like
That's cool.
solving murder cases at the same time, so those are fun. I also really like the Kingmaker Chronicles by Amanda Bouchet, which Jess originally recommended, and I have all 3 of those. Also, if you didn't know, she's writing a spin-off finally, and I'm excited for that.
What?
Yes, and
right
also
now?
they got new covers, and I want the new covers because they're not as like cringy as the original set. It's based off of Greek mythology, so if you like Greek mythology
It's so good.
and you like smutty books and adventure and mystery and all that good stuff, pick those up. And yes, she is writing a spin-off because if you've read the series already, the 3rd book kind of ends.
Is it the thing that I want it to be?
I want to say yes, but the 3rd book ends kind of open-ended, so if you don't like open-ended endings, don't worry because she's writing more. And then obviously JLA, Jennifer L. Armentrout, has some
All
good
day.
adult
Yeah.
books. So she is most popular or most famous for, I want to say right now, the Blood and Ash series, which is fantasy, high fantasy, and it has some spicy moments in there. But she also has contemporary adult romance. What's the series that we've read? The Da Vincent Bros, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's JLA.
Da Vincent.
That was
Yes.
good.
So that one is also something that I recommend if you're not into like the fantasy romance stuff and you want something that's more contemporary.
Yeah, it's like a gothic thriller. It's like a gothic romantic thriller.
Yeah, and it follows 3 brothers and the mystery behind like their rich family, and they have drama and there's plot twists.
And it's set in like a haunted mansion. Like,
Yeah, that's the first book. Yeah.
So I will come back with some emo stuff, I guess, because one of my absolute favorite romance authors is Crystal Caswell, and these are also available on KU. She does rock star romances, and then it spread to like a whole tattoo artist, like different tattoo studios and all the guys in them, the different members of the rock bands, and there's like cameos throughout them all.
I read those.
But it's like her style of writing and the music, like everything is super emo based. The girls, like some of them are like even into anime. Some of them are like, and you can relate so hard to them because they'll be talking and then like they get into a whole fight over whether or not Nirvana or Courtney Love's. What's Courtney Love's?
Hole.
Hole. Okay, so they get into like a little like fights over whether Nirvana or Hole were better, and you're just like, this is amazing. And then they'll like just go on these like rants. There's a whole thing about garbage and how much we love Shirley Manson, and like they get into those little deals. But it's also just really emo, and it hits on a lot of like some tough topics. So like some of them, content warning for some of them, because there's like self-harm and drug use and like how people, but it's about how they're getting past these things. So like sibling death and all sorts of stuff. So all of them have a little bit of like a darker spin to them where somebody's struggling with something. And they figure it out on their own, not because they fall in love. So like it's done in a healthy way. And one of her books that really like got me, and I can't even keep reading it half the time, is because it's a couple that is like together and they're happy and they break up, and he has no idea why she just like ghosts him after they've been together for years, and she just like leaves. And then like later on you find out the real reason, and it's just like depression and mental health and all sorts of things. So it's just like really, really good and so emo, but like it's a fun romance too, and like there's a lot of humor in them in the right places. It's just there's a lot of sex too. So, like that's a thing.
That sounds
It
amazing.
sounds so good the way you're describing it.
I love them so much. I think that you read like a
I
few
read
of them,
the,
though, didn't you, Erin? Yeah.
I have them all in my book bub.
And you get to Pete, and then you're like,
Oh yeah, so
Pete.
I read the whole
Yeah.
first series, but I don't think I read the like
Yeah.
the follow-up one with the other band or people.
Yeah, so there's
I
like
binged
another band,
those-
and then there's multiple tattoo studios.
Yes,
jobs,
I
like,
didn't get
they're
to
so
them. I
bingeable.
did binge those, and like
Yeah.
it was like slowly coming back when you were starting to talk about it. I remember some of the characters; they were really good. I want like sometimes you just get in the mood where you're like, I want a very specific type of romance, and I was like, I need a rock star romance, and I was like, what? I need like guys with tattoos and piercings and playing music. I think it was like when I got really into MGK, his like new punk music. I was like, I
Yeah.
need a rock star romance to like channel this energy.
Jess was like, hold my beer.
I got you.
I've got them. Like, I've got those, and if you need others, Athena Wright does a ton of really good rock star. Like, I want to call them emo, though, because these are all very specific rock star types.
They're emo.
Like, it's
They're emo
not
boys.
a whole bunch of guys. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
emo boys. Like, to a T. Like, they've got leather bracelets sometimes, you know, but, like, not in the creepy...
I love how that's like, you know, the leather bracelets. That means something.
Well, but you know what I'm talking about
Totally.
immediately when I say this. They've got, like, the thin set of them, not like the I made this out of some girl's hair type. So.
You always have really good recommendations, Jess.
Why
I feel like when we're looking
am
for
I this
romance, I
person?
feel like you're our person
Yeah.
that we can be like, tell us what to read. I have 2 right now on my TBR that you've recommended. The You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria, and then the Get Away Chloe Brown, the Brown Sisters series by that's Talia Hibbert, right? They're like top of my TBR. Like they're probably happening in the next like month, I'd say.
Those are really good.
I'm really
The only Talia Hibbert book I've read was that
the
one we read for
Christmas
Smut
one,
Miss.
yeah.
It was so good, though. I love that
Mary
book.
Inkmas.
Mary Inkmas.
That's so on brand, you guys.
cute.
He was like a tattoo artist, and it was a Christmas smut love story.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
a
So
little
basically,
That's all I
come
need.
to us if you need any emo book recommendations because
Yes.
we're emo and we have all
Yes.
of the tattoo,
It's
rock
our
star,
dream, guys.
romance book recommendations.
Werebears.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Honestly, don't judge the werebear.
Yeah,
before
they're
you read it.
good.
That's true.
This is like
It's so good.
our niche audience right here. Like our niche book club is
And
emo romance.
all of the werebears have like
Yeah.
exhausting amounts of tattoos. I think
Yeah.
almost all of the shifters have like tons
Yeah.
of tattoos.
I feel like sometimes
Yeah.
they make a point if someone doesn't, they're like, and then this guy weirdly has no tattoos, and you're like, what's happening? They're like, he's so just bare. What is happening?
Yes. And
What's wrong with you?
I'm like, wait,
None.
Yeah.
none? Not even
Not
one.
even a secret one.
Please don't tell me you have like a tribal on your
It's like a secret one on his butt cheek of like a little bear.
It's like flames like a Guy Fieri shirt.
Care
I
Bear
feel like
lumberjacks.
it's important to note too. Like we all have tattoos.
If you had a
so.
Care Bear tattoo, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, we do.
all
Yeah.
have tattoos.
I don't know why that's an important
Yeah.
detail to know, but I feel like it's important for everybody to know that we
do.
have tattoos.
We all do. Yeah, we're not just like saying we love them. We really, really committed
Yeah.
to that.
Guys, I looked up some psychology too about romance novels if we want to
Yes,
step into my
share,
office.
share your notes.
want to.
Okay, so we know the patriarchy is trying to like ruin it for us, right? It has been for the beginning of time. So there's a lot of people that say like, oh, like reading romance books or smutty books will like mess you up, like, you know, mess up your relationships or your expectations, or like, I don't know, that women can't decipher reality from books, which is just garbage. So I wanted to look into that a little bit, and basically it is all garbage. Anyone who is anyone that is saying that, they're biased or not being honest. There's no good research to support it. But there is some research that supports reading romance. People who read romance novels have higher levels of empathy. And whether that is because they read the romance novels or because people with higher empathy want to read romance novels, or women just typically are both of those things, I just found that really interesting. So everyone else
That's
can
cool.
suck it. And then this one I found super interesting, which I think applies to all of us, is about how, so when I turn to romance, a lot of times it's like I need a palate cleanser or I'm like feeling anxious, right? I feel like sometimes when we're all like in a space, we're like, we need to get a standalone romance, something, we need to charge through all the Ware Shifter books, right? And it was talking about how like sort of the energy, like the negative, like anxiety energy can be like turned into a positive energy by reading these books, because it's a very similar like biological like process that's happening. Like the anxiety, like elevated heart rate, all of that is also really similar to like arousal and that you can quickly kind of like maintain that like feeling, but then it becomes something positive when you're reading romance, like the excitement of like meeting the character, or like the meet cute, and then they're like, oh, will they, won't they, like all of that, like the, you know, that you feel from that can sort of cover up like the same feeling you're getting that is anxiety, if that makes sense. I found that really cool.
I love that.
And I was like,
cool.
that makes so much sense. Why, when I'm feeling really anxious, I'm like, I need a romance to smother these feelings.
Yeah,
Turn
no
them into
kidding.
something
I need to feel
positive.
good.
Yeah.
So to recap, read romance books when you're feeling anxious because they help you turn your anxiety into something that's a little bit more positive and feeling good.
Yes, definitely.
I feel like I did that instinctually, so like pat on the back.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like we did that.
Yeah.
I have a quick TMI question. Does there any stuff that supports that, like, reading a lot of that, like, changes your sex drive?
So I didn't see anything about that, but
Like, does it? Because if you're like getting those,
so to an extent, like
crazy endorphins, or like you're reading those scenes and getting
making
all that
you
type
feel
of
spicy?
chemicals, is that
yeah. So to an extent, from what my background in this stuff is, and then from the little bit that I read, that like yes, it is scientifically proven that stuff can make you feel a little aroused, but yeah, so it can be in the same way that like like other people might use porn, like you could use it to that effect, right? And for women, I think it is a little bit more meaningful in the research, and then just from my knowledge, knowing that like having an emotional connection to it is better. So I think definitely, like, if you were in a relationship and you're in a dry spot and then you're reading a bunch of this, you might be like, all right, I'm feeling up to it now, right? Like, definitely I think that there could be a correlation there. I think it's totally person to person, like if that's actually going to be affecting your sex drive. But definitely I think there is, we can make the argument that there's a connection there for sure.
Can we also make the argument?
I had to ask the question.
I'm also going to say we can make the argument to have the men in our lives read at least one romance book.
Yes.
Like, it should be required reading, that you read a romance book every month or something.
Yes, I made Andrew
Absolutely.
read the first book of ACOTAR series, but I really wanted him to get to the second one, because that's where like the better material is, to be like, can you just be like this guy? Be like Reese, please? And he read the first one, and the whole time he was doing it so begrudgingly, and his reactions were hysterical. Like, I wish I had got more of them on video. But he hasn't read the second one yet, and we had like a deal that I was going to read a book for him, reading a book for me, and I haven't followed through on my side of it. So I'm like, I need to go do that so I can make him read the second one, and then be like this. But
and then you can tell us what his reactions are, and we can have an entire thing on it.
Yes.
I'm interested because I tried to make that same deal, and the book that was suggested that I read was the Rapier.
I knew you were gonna say that before.
No, that was it. Though.
What book?
Well, he did say it's by Shea Serrano. It's called the Rapier book. It's a history of rap music.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
He's very obsessed with this.
It's got beautiful
book.
drawings. But the other one that was suggested to me was the history of basketball, also by Shea Serrano. It's got humor in it. It's like comedy-ish, but it's So I chose to take. I was like, you know what? I don't really need you to read Throne of Glass. That's fine.
Yeah, Andrew wanted me to read some Frederick Backman books, and I know they're excellent books. Like, tons of people love them, so I'm like, I need to do it. But I'm like, I think they're like just gonna wreck me probably. I'm like, I'm gonna just feel probably depressed. So I'll just have to line up some romance novels for right after it to swing me back around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we ready to go into our end segment today? I'm so excited for this one too.
So.
I know I said that last week, but I'm also really excited for this segment.
All of our end segments are great.
This one could like get out of hand. It's gonna be so funny.
I will try to keep us to not ranting and on tangents, but it'll be really hard because I'm so excited. Okay, so to wrap up today's episode, it's not a game. I think this is more of a discussion, but it's super interesting and it ties in well with our emo boys topic and romance for the day. And we are going to be talking about fictional emo boy characters and who we think they would listen to in real life and what their favorite emo boy band would be.
I love this.
So I have a list of all of my favorite emo boy characters, and I'm sure some of them are yours too. And I will just let everybody start throwing out ideas, and I'll throw in mine too. And of course, my first one I have to start off with is Julian Blackthorne from The Dark Artifices. He is the California emo boy of my heart, so I will let everybody start throwing out ideas.
Oh my god.
I
Yellow
love
card.
Julian.
The pancake maker of my heart.
I know. In my notes, because Dev had said something about he would obviously love Dashboard, I was like, I can just picture him singing Hands Down while he paints pictures of Emma.
Oh my god, he would though.
In his studio, painting little photos of her and going.
Imagine how emo that man gets painting Emma in his painting room. listening
He's just
to
like,
emo
yeah.
shit.
This is the best day.
See, I had a very clear image of him singing "Vindicated." Vindicated. I'm like,
I'm so
like, see, like I don't
It's
know,
so
like
good.
running down the, like doing his exercises on the beach, and he's like listening to sad dashboard, crying to himself.
I can see him like punching the
I
air
relate to
too.
this
He's like,
so hard. Like,
ah.
yes, I already loved him, but
Yes,
It's
and he's
so
a California
good.
emo
I
boy,
love
so of
it.
course, like, I relate to this so much, and I just envision this California boy with his freaking sandals walking on the beach, listening to, like, Ocean Avenue by Yellow
Yes, I
Card,
was
or, like,
saying Yellow
Phantom
Card, for
Planet,
sure.
like, that's on his playlist. Like, it's a bunch of Dashboard,
Yeah.
and then, like, Phantom Planet and Yellow Card on this playlist.
Yeah.
It's the theme song to the OC.
Yeah,
so it's
California!
oh yeah.
like- but like, why is that song such a good song? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a bop. I freaking love it.
It is.
So, Julian Blackthorn, Dashboard confessional fan, disagree, agree.
Yeah.
I want to know
100%
everyone's thoughts.
agree.
100%.
100%.
All right, so our next one is going to be Dorian from Throne of Glass. I feel like it's important to note, to tell the people, we've dubbed him Amorian because he goes through an emo phase.
A very hard emo phase.
Yes.
So emo in Kingdom of Ash.
I'm very
His
proud
name
of that.
is-
I did that,
Yeah,
and I'm very proud
You
of
did
it.
it.
I just want to say. I did it.
I envision him as like a wannabe emo. Like, he's that kid who was super happy, and then like something
Yeah.
happens to him, and he's like, I have to be emo, and he starts like wearing all black. But then you listen to you like look at his playlist, and it's like Simple Plan, and you're like,
Yes.
Simple Plan, like it's
It's
like the
you.
entry level phase of emo
Yes.
because he's just starting out.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, what are you listening to? And it's like Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
You're like,
But it's like new
Fall Out
Fall Out
Boy,
Boy,
yeah,
not even
yeah,
new.
it's like
yeah.
Simple Plan and Fall Out Boy and like maybe some Good Charlotte, and you're like, okay,
still love
you're
those
entry
bands.
level.
Yeah, that is though.
100% checks out.
And his theme song is Welcome to My Life, so he's like sitting in his corner, like wondering like why everything sucks.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. I picture that so.
I feel like he does that in the
So
book.
true. He
Yeah.
does. Well, like, he's such the preppy, adorable,
Yeah.
hot guy in the first book.
He goes
and
through
he's
it, and
like,
then he's like,
I get all the ladies, and then by the end, he's just like, it's fine, I'll die.
I could almost see him too, like having all of that, having that entry level
Yeah.
stuff, and then like having a secret playlist of like really hard stuff that he doesn't really like, but he's like, I will make myself like it, like just like real hardcore screamo. He's like, it's good,
Like,
it's good, but he doesn't
scream
like
metal.
it. He's like, no, this is me.
Or he's the dude who's wearing like the shirt with the screamo band, but then you listen to his headphones and he's listening to like
Taylor Swift.
You're like,
Carly,
hey, bro,
yeah,
what's-
Taylor Swift.
yeah.
Or he's listening to like the Frozen
I-
soundtrack in his car.
Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
Zooming towards things, just going, let it
Yep. Yep.
go. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god, that's
So good.
With his special stuff, his magic. That is so accurate.
good. Okay. The next one that I'm going to throw out there is Elias Viturius from An Ember in the Ashes. Has ever
Such an emo boy.
He's like my favorite emo boy.
emo-est
Like,
fuck
I
boy.
love him so much.
He is real emo.
He's the main guy.
Yes.
Okay, I got to like part 1 of book 1, and that's it.
Well, that's okay because you know that he's emo.
Okay,
Like, he's
okay.
emo.
He doesn't change.
He's emo starting from page 1, and he's emo at the end.
Yeah,
like,
he's real emo.
He's emo the entire
Okay,
time.
he's emo, and he is a fuck
Yes.
boy.
Emo fuck
yeah.
boy.
I have never seen a guy be up on a wall where people are shooting at him, and he's like, "Oh, she is a nice guy." That is him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And somehow I still love him. Like, I don't really
Yeah,
like.
it's because he has a good heart. Like, he can't help himself. Like, he doesn't want to notice it, but he does. Like,
The good butt
Yeah.
is just in his face. How could he not notice?
That's
Yes.
exactly
Yeah,
how
exactly.
he is. I mean, he's nice about it. He's not a creep. He's
Yeah.
just like,
he keeps it to himself.
He's respectfully ogling,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, he's respectfully gonna notice that, everybody looks good. Like, okay. I'm still gonna defend your honor like that.
Yeah.
I love him.
All right.
Okay, this is confirmed though. So this one I'm pulling from Saba's Instagram stories because I follow her. That he is listening to "Screaming Bloody Murder" by Sum 41. That's like his theme song.
Oh shit.
Confirmed by the author. However,
I'm here for it.
I have a very clear image of him. This is like my fan fiction right here of him screaming the lyrics to "Miss Murder" by AFI while he's running into the prison to be like, "I'm gonna save your brother."
Oh my god.
And he's just singing, yeah, just like he's an AFI boy. Like I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely see it.
Okay, this next one is for Jess because I feel like she's gonna have thoughts. Maven from Red Queen,
Maybe.
our emo boy.
Guys, okay, first of all, I love Maven. Everybody should know this. I get that he is...
You do.
If you haven't read the first book, I don't want to spoil it.
He's
but,
emo.
like,
He's got his things.
He's real emo.
he's very, very emo, and a lot of people don't like him, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. But I think that he is the best, and I love him, and my song choice for this man is Make Damn Sure by Taking Back Sunday.
Absolutely.
Because I
Yes,
just want to break you
yes.
down so
The
much.
only reason I don't get on board with
just
that is
wanna
because
break
I
you
don't
down
like that
so
character and I love that band. So I'm just like, but I can see
But
it.
just
I know, but like,
hear me out, okay? Hear me out.
I can see it,
I'm
though.
gonna make damn sure that you can't ever
Follow me on this journey, okay? He's in his room, locked up as he is, standing in front of his mirror, singing the songs, practicing Adam's moves from the music video, wrapping the cord around his neck, singing to himself.
Oh my god.
And then being
Oh
like,
my
yes,
God.
yes, like I got this down. And so he knows like all of the emo moves and like practices being Adam.
Like it's a TikTok video dance thing he's learned.
and then his mom walks in. He's just like, "What are you doing?"
Oh my God.
Maybe he really is filming a TikTok and she walks in and he's pretending to be.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, down the hall, Cal is listening to like Eye of the Tiger and practicing punches in his mirror.
Yeah, he has the Rocky theme song on repeat while he's working out.
But like, Maven and Taking Back Sunday are just, I think that they go together. I know you don't like it, but like,
It does.
am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I'm not.
I can
I'm
accept
not wrong.
Yeah.
I just want to break you down. So badly. I just
The
can't get
lyrics
over it.
fit.
If you've read
The
King's
lyrics
Cage,
fit.
if you've read King's Cage, you understand why that sounds so
Accurate,
funny to me.
accurate.
But
Okay, so our last one to wrap things up, I saved the best for last. Az from Court of Thorns and Roses, my shadow emo boy.
The
He
emoest boy of them
He needs
all.
to take it down a
is-
notch.
the original emo boy. I had to start. I had to kick
really
off this
does.
segment with some good ones. I still have an entire list of emo boys we're gonna get through, but
I love
not
this.
today. We'll continue this
come
on
out.
another episode. Just know I have more. But for Az, what's everybody's thoughts? Who's he listening to?
Don't be in love with someone else.
Oh man.
Taylor Swift.
I'm
That's not an emo
done.
band, but that's an emo.
Why do I
Swift
feel like
song.
Az is a guy who like cries in the shower?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
crying for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's crying in the shower.
He
Like,
uses his
listening to, I don't
shadows
know.
to like keep him hidden while he's crying.
I feel like he
and then
likes
he's
the
like,
used. Like they're pretty emo.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I have it that in my mind that he's a My Chem boy. Like he listens to My Chemical Romance and he sits with his blades and he's
I'm
like
not
sharpening
okay.
his blades,
I'm not
practicing
okay.
like all of his war moves with I'm not okay blasting, and he's like crying while he's like I'm not okay.
So 100% if he's into My Chemical Romance, he's also into the used. Like they go together
Yeah.
for sure.
Like-
All of that vibes.
I would have to agree that is. I hear him.
But
saying
then I
choose to
also
make.
agree with Aaron that he's listening to Taylor Swift and listening to
Absolutely.
all of her sad songs.
Oh no. On his good days, though, like "Call Me Maybe" is playing, and he's like bopping around to Carly Rae Jepsen, and nobody can hear him. But he's like, "Oh, I gotta go on a spy mission. Let me
No,
get
he's
psyched
got
up."
like 90s like soft rock, like closing time, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Beginning. That's him. That's on his happy day. Like, that's as happy as that guy
Elaine,
gets.
why don't you love
I
me?
love
He's the person who's making like the emotion playlist, so he has one for his happy day that consists of like 3 songs on repeat, and then all of his other sad music, which is normal stuff.
Forever long. Just like
It's like
72
one
songs.
Taylor Swift, like "Call Me Maybe" by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yes. And he's got these like hidden in like deep files, so no one knows he listens to this.
Yeah, folders
it's
and
all
folders
it's
and
all
folders.
coded.
Retitled.
Yeah.
Nobody can know.
Code words.
Oh man, this is so good.
This is very fun, you guys.
He
I
has a
love
Disney
it.
playlist he doesn't let Kaz know about.
No, I don't stand by that. I just believe that.
In order to get into any of his playlists, like you have to do like facial recognition and then like 2-factor authentication,
Yeah.
so that way he can.
This man
he
will
can
not
hide.
let you get to know him.
Yes.
No.
Never
Oh,
happening.
so good.
I love it so much.
So
All right, well, emo boys and their favorite emo bands. That's what I have for today, but there will be more. So listen in on future episodes because you might hear more.
And if you have any characters that you'd like us to
Analyze.
Your favorite emo boys, let us know. Or girls. Emo
Absolutely.
boys or emo girls. We're here for
Oh,
all
yeah,
of
we
emos
them.
need to
welcome.
do
All the emos.
literally everyone. Any
Yeah,
character
we should
you
do emo
find.
girls next time.
Yeah.
Next week's topic is I will die on that hill. So we're going to go over our potentially controversial topics, but maybe not, just things that we're stubborn about. And follow us on socials. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter,
All the things.
all the podcast apps that you could find at this
Emo
point.
Girls Guide.
They did approve of us, which is shocking, and hopefully they don't revoke that. And may your day be blessed with
Main
main
character
character
Main character energy!
Gee.
Woo woo!